No matter what your opinion was on AJ Green and the potential of him coming to our Buffalo Bills, it looks like that's no longer an option. Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this free agency edition of Believers Talk, where we give you all the breaking news and up-to-date news on our Buffalo Bills when it concerns free agency. Guys, we're going to keep you covered throughout the offseason with Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports news. So if you're a fan of the Buffalo Bills or Buffalo sports, you want to make sure you hit that subscribe button. After you hit that subscribe button, you want to hit that notification bell. Guys, last season we did a video on every single Buffalo Bills free agent pickup. Plan to do the same thing this year as well. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like this video, and go and leave a comment. What do you think about AJ Green and the rumor that he is going to be franchise tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals? I know a lot of Bills fans were hoping that the Buffalo Bills would target AJ Green when free agency opened on March 18th, but now it looks like that's not going to be an option. It looks like the Cincinnati Bengals are going to at least franchise tag AJ Green, if not work on a longer deal and not have to worry about using the franchise tag if they can sign him to a long-term deal prior to that. Of course, the franchise tag runs between, already started February 27th, and then between then and March 12th. Teams have that time period to decide if they want to franchise tag a player. Rumors have it that the Cincinnati Bengals are looking to franchise tag AJ Green. And guys, I'm not going to lie, if you're AJ Green, I think you kind of have to be excited about this. Now, it doesn't show, and he talked about this a little bit, it doesn't show commitment from the team that's franchise tagging you, and that's what some other of these players who are being franchise tagged have to worry about too. But if you're AJ Green, you're coming off an an ACL injury, I believe it was, in your first preseason practice with the Cincinnati Bengals last season, meaning you haven't seen a football field in a full year. And yet they're willing to pay you what's going to turn out to be somewhere between 17 and 18 million, I believe, is that franchise tag number for wide receivers. I did a free agent video not too long ago, just last week, on wide receivers and who the Buffalo Bills should target. And I looked at Spot Track, and his target annual salary was between 9 and 10 million. Well, if he gets franchise tagged, that means that he's going to make somewhere between 17 and 18 million with that franchise tag. So that's a pretty good jump up. If you're AJ Green, I would take that. Obviously, now again, if you're a player in the NFL, you know that longevity isn't necessarily a thing, and you know that careers come and go. So if you are a player in the NFL, you want a longer contract. So you have to understand that from a player's point of view, right? I think that AJ Green might have rather taken a 4-year, $10 million a year deal than this deal here where he's only guaranteed one more season. Well, if he gets hurt again, obviously teams will not be willing to take a risk on him as much money at least, so he might lose something in the long run. But rumor has it AJ Green is going to be a Cincinnati Bengal next season, so that means that the Buffalo Bills won't have a shot at him in free agency, and that might change some thinking for Brandon Beane and this front office for the Buffalo Bills. Now listen, if you watch my free agency video about the wide receiver position, you know that I was not a huge fan of the idea of bringing AJ Green in. Again, let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree, if you wanted AJ Green to be a Buffalo Bill. But I wasn't a huge fan of it. Again, coming off a season-long injury last year where he didn't play at all. 31 years old. Now, I know that he has a lot of receptions. I know he has a lot of yards. I know he has a lot of touchdowns. I believe that he is second in Bengals history behind Chad Johnson in a lot of those categories, right? But still, that is old. AJ Green, that's not 32-year-old AJ Green. That's a guy that played in his 20s. And listen, he was a great player. And he still might be a great player, but I just didn't want to take the risk for the 8 to 9 to maybe even 10 million that he was listed to potentially make this season. Now, for the Cincinnati Bengals, looking at the #1 overall draft pick. So what does that mean? This helps them out when they talk about drafting Joe Burrow #1 overall. Joe Burrow has come out and said that he wouldn't mind playing, or he would like to play with AJ Green. Said that as a rookie quarterback, and this is true, as a rookie quarterback, you want as much help as you can get. You're talking about a guy in AJ Green drafted 4th overall in 2011. He's been around the block a few times, a 6-time Pro Bowler. So he knows how to play this game. And so if you have a veteran like that, you want to keep him on the team. Same thing happened last year when you talk about Murray going over to Arizona and the Arizona Cardinals wanting to keep Larry Fitzgerald for another season or two, just so you can have that veteran leader on your team, kind of show the new guy how to get things done, how to be a good leader, and how to create that chemistry between a wide receiver and a quarterback. That's something that you're going to need right off the bat if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. If you do draft Joe Burrow, you're going to want a guy to come in there and be his go-to target from day one, and that's what AJ Green, hopefully for the Cincinnati Bengals, can provide you. Now, again, do I think he's worth the $17 million, $18 million that he's going to get with a one-year franchise tag? Absolutely not. If you guys think he's worth it, then good for you. But I'm pretty sure even if you wanted AJ Green to become a Buffalo Bill, you were not looking to pay him $17 million a season. You were looking more at the $8-9 million range, and that wasn't too bad of an asking price for AJ Green. But now if you're a Buffalo Bill, right? Now if you're Brandon Beane, if you're this front office, and you were looking at AJ Green in free agency, and you were saying, oh, I can't wait to free agency, we're going to make this guy an offer. Well, now you kind of have to rethink things a little bit, right? Does this enhance your need to pick up a wide receiver in the NFL draft? Maybe you were looking deeper in the NFL draft saying, hey, we can't pick up a Chase Claypool in the 3rd, 4th round, and we still have maybe this AJ Green veteran coming in that we can have teach the young guy how to get things done at an elite level. Now you don't have that, right? So now, I know I did that wide receiver free agent video just earlier this week. Again, if you want to check it out, I will link it into this video as well. So make sure you check it out. But now you look down the free agency list, and the wide receiver names are getting a little more bare. I mean, other than the two big names, which are Amari Cooper and AJ Green, the Buffalo Bills really wouldn't have too much interest in some of the top echelon guys coming up in free agency. I mean, you're talking about Emmanuel Sanders, less than 6 feet tall. We have a lot of guys, again, guys that even our head coach last year during practice called Smurfs, right? So you have guys like Emmanuel Sanders, you have a Randall Cobb in there. So those are guys under 6 feet tall who I don't think the Buffalo Bills are going to be interested. Again, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments section. Happy to talk about it with you. But then you look at a guy like Robbie Anderson. What does this do not only for his draft or his free agent stock with the Buffalo Bills, but all throughout free agency, right? You know, Amari Cooper's the big name, but how many tall receivers are there in free agency? Over 6'1", 6'2", not too many. And if you take AJ Green away from that, that's one less. Robbie Anderson then becomes the best player on this list behind Amari Cooper, who's over 6 feet tall. So all of a sudden you're talking about his potential salary going up a little bit. So I'm sure that Robbie Anderson was happy to hear that the Cincinnati Bengals are looking to franchise tag AJ Green. You look at a guy like a Demaryius Thomas, okay? I know that Demaryius Thomas, again, an older guy, 32 years old, but you're talking about a veteran who has done it at an elite level back when he played with Denver, who can come in and show some young guys how to get it done. So this opens up new possibilities for the Buffalo Bills, but this also, if AJ Green was on Brandon Beane's radar, this also means that we have to change our dynamic a little bit. Do we look at picking up a wide receiver in the 1st round instead of waiting for the 2nd or 3rd round to pick up a wide receiver? Or do we look at another one of these free agency names? Like I said, Robbie Anderson might become a big name now in free agency once the free agent period hits. You look at Demaryius Thomas possibly as a potential free agent, as well as someone who could come in, kind of, especially for Demaryius Thomas, he'll come in at a cheaper number than you would get Robbie Anderson for, but come in and teach a younger guy who possibly would draft how to get it done at the NFL level. You know you got John Brown there, you know you got Cole Beasley there, but we need to get length. And again, this all is determined on what does the front office, what does this coaching staff feel about a 6'2" Duke Williams, who is still on the Buffalo Bills, who spent a lot of time on the practice squad last season, showed up pretty well in that wild card game, and we were happy for a lot of it as far as his production. We thought he did pretty good. I thought he made a couple catches in that game that only Duke Johnson, as far as wide receivers on the Bills roster, could have made. So we'll see what happens, but as of right now, it looks like rumors have it that AJ Green is going to be franchise tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, like I said, might change some perspective when you talk about the Buffalo Bills and that wide receiver room. But again, guys, I thank you for joining me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, as we keep you up to date on all Buffalo Bills free agency news. When free agency hits March 18th, we will be posting videos on every single Buffalo Bill free agent that we sign. So you want to make sure you hit that notification bell. And like I said, hit that like button, leave a comment. What do you think about the rumors that AJ Green is going to be franchise tagged for a pretty big number? Right? You're talking about 17, 18 million. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, the Bills wouldn't want to sign for that much money. So good luck to AJ Green. Good luck to the Cincinnati Bengals. But hey, he's not going to be a Buffalo Bill. Again, guys, thank you for joining me. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.